ready here yet. That's good, because I am not ready. All right. Here's the SCHLUB. You guys can look at this for a second here. I'm going to get some links out to the world. Been a bit of a day here, so we'll see how it goes tonight. I was on kid duty most of the day, and while I was driving around, taking my daughter to one of her activities, I got rear-ended. That's a huge drag, so, you know, a little bummed about that, but luckily I was not hurt. She was not hurt. But I'm a bit tired, if I'm being honest. It's been a bit of a day. But you know what? We're all here. Might as well do something fun. Let's do a quick look through some comics. And maybe we'll try to ink something. We'll see how it goes. Hey, thank you, Stinker Buns. I'm glad you liked the cover. I would say that issue 2 cover is probably my favorite cover that I've done. Yeah, I would say this is definitely my favorite cover. I showed some of the original art off a couple weeks ago, so you know, if you guys want to check that out, I encourage you to go back and watch one of those older streams and take a look. But this is the cover to issue 3. Let's make sure it's as bright as possible. I'm really happy with Mike's colors on this too. I was happy with how the line art turned out, but then Mike really crushed on the colors. Then you know what? Why don't we go ahead and show off some of these variants too? Let me see if I can pull some of these out here. So there's the cover A. This might take a second. Here is the, well, here, let me just get them all out because it's a bit of a process here. Don't want to damage them either. I hope you guys have pre-ordered your copies. You know what? We're going to skip that one because it's at the bottom of the thing here. All right. You guys, this is one of those days. I apologize. Hang on 1 minute. Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. So, here is the Virgin variant, so Sans trade dress. This one, I like the Virgin a lot, but this is one where the logo did fit really nice at the top. But here, the Virgin variants are always my favorite. I like where you can just see the art on them. And then there's, of course, a foil variant. These are very hard to come by, impossible to see on here as well. It's just black, I think. But in person, these foil variants look awesome, especially on some of these dark covers. There's a foil variant of Stegman's cover as well, which I didn't pull out. But here's Stegman's cover. Really dig this one because it's a direct reference to some of the stuff that happens in the book. Stegman hit a couple things in here. He's got some Rossmos, our friend Riley Rossmo, and you got some Lee's, some Ryan Lee and Sean Lee stuff here, and then Dave's Ice Cream for Dave Acosta, I believe. And then, of course, there's a Virgin variant and a foil of his as well. This one's really fun. And Ryan, of course, did a great drawing, but Mike Spicer just nailed it on both of these covers, but especially this one. This is one of my favorite ones as far as color goes, is this one for Ryan. And I like that the way Ryan drew this one too. It's really neat. I like that he put all those details in here and stuff. So yeah, issue 2 is out next Wednesday. So definitely pick it up. If you haven't pre-ordered it, still go to your shop and ask for it. And if they don't have it, ask for it. See if they'll get it for you. See if they can get it on order. Let's go ahead and take a peek on the inside. What do you say? I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to show too much. But yeah. Yes, Eli. Yes, the glow of the TV, exactly. Yeah, Mike just nailed it on the face here especially. And the kind of lighting of it. This pale blue. And then he has this magenta back here that just pops it. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, man, oh man, guys, there is so much cool stuff that happens in issue 2, which I'm not going to show you all of it. But here's a look at some of the stuff that's happening in issue 2. We got Cirrus inside Roger's body now. What's he doing? Where's he going? Got to read it to find out. He ends up in this amazing library here. And we meet this little librarian lady. This one took a while. This page took a little while. A giant library. I think they described it as a giant, like, space library on Max Terra. And they just kind of said, have fun with it. So I really went all out and tried to make it as cool as I could. So I'll just give you just a couple pages here you can see. And then here we can see what Roger's doing in Cirrus's body. He has showed up at somebody's house on their dock and looks to be doing some harm on their boat. This is a very fun issue, and I'm very excited for everyone to read it and check it out. And we have, let's see, where is it here? Here's a little preview of the issue 3 covers, which will be coming out. I'll show you those in more detail when we get closer to the date. So the SCHLUB number 2, next week. Stegman cover is cool, but, you know, the Tyrell cover is also cool, so please check it out. All right, before I get in any drawing, I just want to take a peek at these. I like to pull out stuff in my long boxes and take a look at them sometimes when I'm working, but then show them off here. And this, I've been looking at a lot of Aliens and Predator comics lately. There's some pretty cool. Thank you, Eli, for noticing the colors and how they've enhanced everything. Mike is a genius. I especially love where the colors start going on issue 3. I can't wait for you guys to see that. But on issue 2, he just does some amazing stuff. Anyway, let's take a quick peek at these. I just want to show a couple things that I thought were cool. Number 1, this cover is like kind of worth the book right here. This is Dark Horse Comics, which I guess is slightly different from Dark Horse Comics Present or Dark Horse Presents. But this is Derek Thompson did this cover, and his paintings are really, really rad. This crazy skull on here, the designs on him. I like this purple glow on the edges, fighting this other predator. So it's 3 stories, and for some reason, they like list them all weird here and kind of out of order, because this one is first, and then I think this one is second, and then this one is third, so I don't know what happened here. But this predator story is kind of interesting. It's sort of got this voiceover that's all about serial killers. And you see some maybe inter-predator fighting happening on the ship. I believe this is by Derek Thompson, the same guy that did the cover, but this is his black and white art with inks by Andy Parks and colors by Robbie Bush. There's some nice stuff in this one, especially this predator face right here. That's really cool. That's very cool. The kind of really stark lighting. But kind of underlit, so the mandibles have this darkness around him and the light's all up in his mouth. That's very cool. And then we have a little Aliens part here by Killian Plunkett. And I really like Killian Plunkett's stuff. I feel like I used to see it a lot, and then it's been a minute since I've seen much by him. It's kind of got a Doug Mankey or Monkey, I don't know if I say his name, look to it. A lot of detail, kind of a clean line style for the most part. But the way he draws tech, like these things and these suits, is very cool. And then I like the way he makes the aliens really skinny and kind of wiry. Some of the colors in this are a little weird because I think there was a misregistration on the printing, which is kind of killer when you do clean line art. But there's still some cool stuff in here. He did a whole series called Aliens Labyrinth, which I think this is sort of a preview of. They talk about it here. And this page here is awesome. This truck is falling off this cliff, and all the aliens and people are on it. The guys are running through it. Very cool. So it's Jim Woodring wrote Aliens Labyrinth and Killian Plunkett on the art, and it's a very cool series. And then this last one here is kind of a hunter story of Predator called The Pride of Ngasa, and it's a Chuck Dixon joint and Alcatina on art. And Alcatina's got some really cool sort of cross-hatching and chiaroscuro type stuff to define the figures. You see Predator go up against a bunch of beasts in Africa. So he's fighting some crocs, and he's got some lions and tigers, I think, that he fights. Kind of a cool little story. Gets his arm ripped off, fights some hyenas here. Pretty neat. And then you got some other stuff back here, some previews of old Dark Horse books, Sin City. It's a cool Sin City ad. Pretty neat. Dark Horse Comics number 12. Alright, let's peek at this one, and then I'll see if I can draw anything tonight. This is Aliens Hive, and if you haven't checked this out, I recommend you do, because if you can't tell already by the cover, this is by Kelly Jones. Kelly Jones is, oh boy, Kelly Jones is good. Kelly Jones, a lot of people know him for his Batman stuff, but his interiors on Batman are always sort of, they're all good, don't get me wrong, they're great. But he rarely captures kind of that cover vibe that he does on the Batman books. But this Alien book has those vibes throughout. It is so cool. Look at that, man. The contrast of this, like, and is he working with an inker here? I can't remember. No, it's just him. Usually is, I think. But check these like solid blacks with the feathered hatching, and then all this little cross hatching back here. The high contrast on the faces with the zip tone. Oh, it's beautiful stuff. Really beautiful stuff. Look at that. That's great. Oh, this one is one of the coolest looking Alien books. He has a way of distorting things that, you know, he plays pretty loose with some figures and stuff, but the way he finds shapes and, you know, things in the shadows here, like that's such a wild choice on the lighting right here, but dang, it's cool. Just her nose and the edge of her lip peeking out in her eye and all the hair hanging down. So cool. Yeah, see, like Kelly Jones is the man. Yeah. Omni. Yeah, this Alien book is a good place to start for good interiors. I would say Alien Hive is great. Labyrinth by Killian Plunkett. That Aliens book has great art on the inside. Honestly, most of the early stuff from Dark Horse is your best bet. I'm not trying to slam anybody, but the new stuff coming out of Aliens and Predator, can't say I'm as much of a fan of it as this stuff. I think that the older style illustrators just have a better handle on how to do some of this stuff. There's a dog in here. Look at this, just a silent sequence where the alien picks up the ball, throws it, and the dog chases after it. Pretty cool. This alien running here is very cool. Oh, it's such a great issue. Oh, the approach right here. So this continues across all these pages, this vial falling and smashing. Pretty neat stuff, man. And then this is even kind of Richard Corbin-y here with the little stipple marks and this sort of pudgier face. Look at this spaceship too. Man, that's cool. Kelly Jones, man. A lot we could learn from Kelly Jones. Highly recommend checking out Alien Hive. I don't know where I got this. I have had this for ages, and it's a very, very cool little book. Another one that's kind of fun, there's one called Aliens Alchemy, which is an alien book. I don't know if I've showed it off on here, but every page is by a different artist. And they got everybody in there. They got Jeff Darrow, they got Travis Charest, they got Sergio Aragonés, they got Vanya. They got, I mean, it's crazy, it's 2 issues, and it's impossible to read because every page is by a different artist. But it's pretty cool because you can see all these different artists draw aliens. But this one's really great. And there's another one. There's a Richard Corbin Aliens book, and I'm spacing on the name of it right now. But Richard Corbin did one as well that's really cool. And there's like monks that are dealing with aliens. Kind of Aliens 3 original style. So there's Aliens Hive. All right. Matthew, you haven't checked out your aliens in a while? You should. Oh, what year? Let's see. Matt Zolman asked what year. This would be 91 or 92, and this is 92. So these are very similar time frame. I don't think I bought these when they were coming out because I was pretty young. I probably picked these up in like a quarter bin somewhere. Back when I got them, they were not expensive. I don't think I paid more than a buck or two for each one of these. So who knows now? You know, it's just some of the Dark Horse ones are worth a little bit more just because they're, I don't know, 100 times better than the new stuff. No offense to anybody working on new stuff. Although the new Predator has some cool writing in it. I just wish we were getting something a little different with some of the art. But hey, I'm a little biased. So we've had a bit of a, like I said, a bit of a day today. Got rear-ended. And so I haven't had much time to work on something ink tonight. But we're going to try something here. We're going to try something. I've been wrestling all night. Well, I was watching my kids still, but I was like, man, I was trying to make stuff work. Sometimes I'm just scribbling and trying to find figures in it. I thought I had something here, but then I didn't like it. I think I have something here. So I'm going to try to turn this into something, if you guys are down for it. Collected Kelly Jones. Dude, that would be so cool. A collected Kelly Jones book. I would be all over that. I'd love to hear anyone else's favorite kind of Kelly Jones work. I mean, I know Batman's up there for everybody. But I think this Alien book is really high on that list for me. So I got to grab some more paper here. Bear with me. Because I went through like 5 sheets trying to figure out what I was going to draw. Which way's the front here? That must be the front. Okay. But yeah, Kelly Jones over the years has become more and more of an influence on me. And you know what, guys? Give me 2 seconds. I got to close this door over here so we don't get interrupted. All right. A little bit of privacy here. Never know when the wife will get back from wherever she's at. Oh, yeah, the Sandman stuff. Eli, I forgot about that. That stuff is really good. All right. So the first challenge is going to be getting that on here in a way that I'm happy with it. I think so here's, you guys won't be able to see this, but instead of pulling on my light box, since it's just so rough, I'm just going to hold it up to my light here, just enough that I can kind of get that figure in here that I did. And if anybody can guess who this is before I'm like done drawing it, I don't think anybody will, but we'll see. All right, we're gonna go loose here. All right, so you're going to see some pencils here too, folks. Henry! Sandman, yeah. Speaking of Sandman, my friend Riley Rossmo is working on a book right now called Wesley Dodd's Sandman. So it's the old Golden Age Sandman. And I might have mentioned it on here before, but Riley is amazing in general, but his work on the Sandman book is crazy. It's unparalleled. So it comes out soon. So head to your local comic shop and tell them you want the Wesley Dodd Sandman by, I think it's Vendetti's writing it, and Riley Rossmo on the art. I'm telling you guys, when he shows me the stuff he's been working on, it's just like, it's so good. So good. Carnage is a good guess, Eli, but that's not who it is. I almost drew Carnage tonight, though. That's probably how I got to this spot. I will do a Carnage at some point here. Promise. And I'm going to say what I always say. I have no idea what I'm really doing right now. So if this is a failure, you guys all get to watch me fail. Every now and again you get a Spider-Man like I had the other week. And every now and again you get nothing. But I haven't gotten to draw too much today. I was actually working on some thumbnails related to SCHLUB stuff. And that was... that's cool, but it's a much different muscle than drawing, just drawing on paper, because I do that on my iPad, and so I really wanted to check that out. Yes, Stinker Buns, as you saw in the thing, there will be this is going to be a Wildstorm character. Matt Zollman, Ronin, no, but I do need to do a Ronin at some point. Sorry, I need to check on my daughter real quick here. Thought I heard her. She's in her bedroom right now. It's dad life, guys. Oh, look at that. She fell asleep already. Praise the Lord. All right. Now that you know it's Wildstorm, I'm sure someone will get it pretty quickly. I am a huge Wildstorm guy. Those are the books I grew up loving. And I think those characters do not get enough love. I think there's so many great characters from the Wildstorm books that I would love to see done. And, I know they've tried with some of them at DC, but I just don't think they've captured that energy that Wildstorm books had, Maybe these are good comics they're making, I mean, I haven't read all of them, but the ones I've read, they're not bad comics, right? I just haven't felt that Wildstorm energy, and I think that's really important when you're writing a character or drawing a comic, that some of it has a specific feeling, There's things that feel like the X-Men, right? There's things that feel like Spider-Man, Matt got it. It is Warblade, my second favorite Wildcat. Probably second favorite Wildcat. If I could do a Warblade comic, oh boy, you guys, you have no idea. Because he's an artist. Oh my god, I always thought that was so cool that he was an artist too. And I just would really like to take the character somewhere wild, pun intended. But just like to think of the ideas, and I'm not showing it here, I guess, but the things he could do, because he can change the shape of his body and stuff, but the fact that he's an artist, and then you think about what would he be doing with his body that would be more creative than just, say, claws, right? His whole body almost would become more than just a weapon. It's also like a canvas. So I would love, love, love to do a Warblade book. He's one of my dream characters to work on. The Wildcats in general. Like if I could get on a Wildcats book, I could die a happy man. Man, drawn Warblade, Grifter, Zealot. I almost did a Zealot tonight, but I couldn't figure her out. I was trying and trying. I thought I had something here, but I don't know. I just wasn't, I don't know, wasn't feeling it. Maybe I'll try that one again on a different day. But yeah, I mean, the Wildcats, they're one of the older ones, but I mean, I loved, you know, the ones that I guess are finally getting a little bit of a chance now is Authority. I think Authority has been underused since DC has had those characters. I mean, that book really, there would be no Ultimates without that book, in my opinion, and there would be no, so there would be no Marvel movies, because I feel like those borrowed a lot from Ultimates, and Ultimates borrowed a lot from Authority. And man, I just feel like they haven't captured that same level of kind of interest since then, and I would love to see that happen. So I've heard they're doing a movie and stuff. We'll see what happens. I don't know, man. I mean, you never know with those things. You never know. I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess I'll say. Also, just reminding myself that this is the Tuesday night drawings. I try to be a little looser, try to not have too many restrictions, and so it might look a little wild, but hey, you know, that's cool. We're gonna see what happens, you know, see what the paper and the ink have to say to us tonight. What do they want to tell us tonight? You know, Warblade's kind of a pointy guy, so let's see. I like these. I'm trying to explore maybe making the eyes on my people a little bit smaller. I don't know. I'm a sucker for those little Rob Liefeld eyes, you know, but I've never been able to pull them off. We'll just go, let's go crazy with the mouth here. Let's just go nuts. Why not? Okay. Eli, you should do some sketching. I love it. Let's all draw together. I keep getting my head in the shot, dudes. I'm sorry. I tried to change my camera a little bit, but I literally came in here like 5 minutes late because I was putting my daughter to bed. You know how it is, dads out there. You know how it is. You dads out there, you're with me. We're not gonna eat, we don't want to pencil this too much because then I'll be here all night, and also we want to leave some room for the ink to do some stuff. That's what we're here for. So let's keep this loose, but we want some good structures to go off of. I like these chords and stuff. So you know, I mean, and anybody who looks at my stuff for a while that knows comics will probably figure out my influences a lot pretty quick, because I mean, I'm drawing Warblade. In the original version of Warblade, he has these crazy hoses and stuff coming off of him, you know, and that's exactly what Worm has. That's exactly what Worm has, and I'm not, I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I mean, it's just in there, you know. Even if I was not trying to emulate it, I'm going to end up doing some of these things because these characters and the looks of these characters were something I drew all the time when I was a kid. And like, you know, once you've drawn something that many times, it's just kind of in you, you know. So these guys are in there, you know, and their looks. As far as the flourishes, I was just thinking I need to figure out, I can't remember what his mask looks like exactly. I should look that up in a second. I'm going to do this guy over here. So I hope everybody's been digging the SCHLUB. I hope you're excited for issue 2. One thing I could say about issue 2 that has me excited for people to get it, other than the cover, is we introduce, I think it's like 9 characters in this one that all I mean, they're not all equally important, but they're cool characters, you know. So, you know, it's fun because I've been drawing the book for a while, and so I have seen. You know, obviously, I know what's going to happen, and so I'm just excited for you to meet all the people that are involved. You know, maybe we'll give them crazy eyes. Here we go. That's kind of nice. So yeah, I'm so stoked to see which characters people dig and don't dig, and like what you all think about them. Not that I can change anything if you hate them, but I think that I think you're gonna like them. That's the thing I'm trying to say. I think you're gonna like them. Big old knee out here in the front. There we go. Okay, I'm not crazy about my hand situation here right now. Let's see if we can give them a slightly different shape here. I think I need, oh yeah, there we go. And then this one, maybe we'll bring him not quite as far forward. So this, it's funny that I'm drawing him this way because I think one of the downfalls of the character, not that could be explored more, like I was saying, is sort of the way he shapes his body as a weapon. And I think most of the time he just had claw fingers, you know, and sometimes he'd have a sword or something. But I was always excited when I saw the original, you know, articles and previews of Wildcats and hear Jim Lee talk about it. It was like, oh, this guy's like the T-1000, you know? So I thought that he would do all kinds of crazy stuff, and I don't feel like that's been explored much. Or if it has, I've missed it. You know, I haven't seen that stuff. So. Okay. What does his mask look like on the top of his head here? 90s image energy is still something I crave to this day. Thank you. Matt says that. Thank you, Matt. And your art is definitely influenced. Yeah. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that very much. Okay, let's look at this mask and see what we got here. War blade, and just the directness of the names of the characters is very refreshing. You know, it's like Warblade and Maul and like Zealot and Grifter. They're just so direct. There's almost like no nuance to it, but it's kind of great. So it looks like the point comes down here. Oh yeah. See, Jim understood a head sock like nobody's business. Oh yeah. That's Jim right there for show. Make those a little thinner there. Okay, did I miss anything? Oh yeah, so the backs of his arms are kind of metally, like Colossus style. So that needs to remember that. Let's remember that. And he has gloves. You know, the Punisher style gloves. And it goes down the side of his legs too. That is also a good touch. Jim Lee must have known what he was doing. Alright. Ooh. Drink break here. Sorry about my head again there, guys. I'm also having some serious back pain today and yesterday. I think I did something wrong with my back. So, you know, maybe not in the same position I normally am here. I sound like a big baby. I'm fine. Totally fine. Don't worry about me. Yeah, just crazy claws. Heck, do we think that's enough? Can I just ink it from here, do you think? Am I up for it? I think I could try. Let's try. Let's try. Well, where do I... Oh, I know what I'll do. Blade. Right just flesh out this other chord real quick. Nice. Okay. All right. I'll try not to mess it up here. As usual, I got my Pentel pocket brush. I think this is the third one I've owned in 10 years. Fine piece of machinery right here. You might get a dud. I think the second one I got was a dud, but this one is a champ. It's a little finicky when the cartridges are in a certain state, but if you're aware of that, you can sort of work around it. Still, it's the only way for me to be the quick. I don't think I'm quick, but as quick as I am is because of tools like this. I used to ink with dip brush, and I love doing it. It's so much fun. But this is just faster and a little more portable. Yeah, I can pull it out whenever I need to work. And a lot of times I work in weird situations just because I might be watching my kid or something. So let's just be big here. Let's add some funk on these here. Let's, yeah, swish it in. There we go. Big, big, big. Okay. Okay. Go bigger with this one over here. I want this ponytail like that. I am not the only one that makes noises when I draw. But it happens. I like to I don't even know if I like to. It just happens. It happens. Noises come out. Man, I probably haven't drawn this guy in, it's been a minute since I've drawn Warblade, man. My sketchbooks used to be full of this dude. I used to draw Warblade, and who else would I draw all the time? Spartan, and I draw Wetworks all the time. I love Wetworks. That's another book I would kill. Wills, if you're out there, man, give it to me. Give it to me. Here we go with the crazy face. Let's get this mouth. Yeah, snarly. I mean, we all know that the reason you want a character like this in your team is because they're fun to draw. You know? You need a Wolverine. Everybody needs a Wolverine. A dude that's a little unhinged. You can make him feel sort of unpredictable. And I like that that Warblade is kind of like an emo Wolverine. You know, he's kind of emo, he's kind of moody. He's an artist, you know. I can relate. Have you ever seen the anime Parasite? Yeah. Parasite is very cool. I heard a lot of people accuse James Cameron of maybe lifting some of those ideas from from that book for Terminator, which, you know, whatever. That's kind of part of the course for him, but maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But yeah, Parasite is rad, man. It is full of some really amazing imagery. Scary, scary book. I can't remember the artist's name on that, but it is a very cool book. Just a little bit to separate him at that point, and then a little bit to throw it behind his head there. I'm trying to think more about shapes and lines overlapping to help me with depth stuff. I hope I'm not the only Warblade fan out there, though. Although that would be not surprising. I don't think a lot of people think about the Wildstorm characters just because they don't have good representation right now. But like I was saying, it'd be nice if we could get something going at some point. I think me and Mr. Kenny Porter, writer of the SCHLUB, we could do something fun with him. Pull that up, this here. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little bit, something to get the metal something. That's working. Kind of want some more shapes here, though. I think that helps, yeah. Yeah. Let's just go all the way back here. Something like that. Okay. We're gonna give him some excitement here. Okay, all right. So we're probably gonna move to erasing soon. I guess I don't need to do those without erasing first. All right, I think I got most of them in there. I think that's the important stuff. Just imply a couple things there. That's right, BMC, Wildcats. Wildcats! Remember that terrible theme song in the cartoon, anybody? It's the worst. Oh, I was so sad and like embarrassed when that Wildcats cartoon came out. I was like, oh. Even as a kid, I was like, I can see that this is not good. Not good. All right, 2. Sorry, Jim, but yes, I was not a fan of that Wildcats cartoon, and I got up at a different time every week that it was on because they moved the time slot every week. That's how bad it was. Look at this. I'm erasing too quick, and we're getting these smears. Let's smear some more. Let's just play into it. Let's smear it. Let's just erase it and see what happens. Stettler Mars plastic eraser. That is all you need, friends. That is the finest eraser on the market. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't understand people that don't use this eraser. That's how good it is. Some people will say the mono one is better. Some people will use a kneaded eraser. They're all crazy. Listen to me. You want this eraser. This is not a paid endorsement. Okay. Let's clean them up a little bit. Heroes, not zeros. Oh my gosh, BMC, don't. Please don't. All right, Matt, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, we got a decent amount of people here. I hope you folks will hang out for a minute. See what we can come up with here on Reno. That was his name. Reno, was it Reno Bryce? Or Bryce Reno? He was cool. All right, sorry. My head again in the shot. Some of us can't afford fancy cameras or anything, so you get what you get with me. All right. Sometimes I just want to keep it super loose, but then I have this compulsion to really define everything. So tonight we're gonna experiment with seeing how much we can leave a little more open. And it's still not gonna be that much, but you know, baby steps. Baby steps in to the office. Let's throw some back there too. Okay. There's so much to do. Where to start? Oh yeah, let's not forget the arms are metal. You know, I should have put some, some of that action on there. All right. I wonder who was the first one to do this sort of metal, the seamed banding on metal, like for like characters like Colossus. Like when he was first invented, did he have that? And was that the first character that did that to sort of denote, oh, this is a metal surface that somehow is organic too? Because everybody uses it now, and I'm not sure what the origin of it is. There's probably not a definitive answer, but maybe it's a rhetorical question. I don't know. Ooh. See, we do have to sharpen him up, though. He's a sharp guy here, so we can't have fuzzy corners. Let's have some sharp corners here. Kenny and Ryan are both, you know, they like the image stuff a lot as well. I think that's pretty apparent with Ryan. Kenny, I think right now he's actually reading through all of Spawn, which is pretty cool. I always wanted to do something like that, you know, just take a whole run of something and read the whole thing. I don't think it's going to be Spawn that I do that with, but, you know, someday I would like to pick something like that and just, it's got a good run of maybe a couple hundred issues at least, and just kind of go through it all. Reno. There's this in the Wildstorm. It's like one of the Wildstorm like annuals or something. They were doing the whole you know, characters' bios and stuff like that. And there's this drawing of him by Jay Lee, and it's him. It's Warblade, but he's in like his street clothes, and he looks very like, you know, like a hot dude, you know, like kind of emo dude. And it gives off this vibe, you know. And he's got like his claw hand, obviously, but it's like a very fashion photo type shot of him. And I always thought that was kind of an interesting choice, but also like Jay Lee on the art was pretty cool, because that was in the time frame where he was working on Hellshock, so his stuff was getting slightly more realistic from what it had been when he was on, say, Namor or Wildcats trilogy. And that stuff. Or he did a Youngblood Strike File, I think, before he kind of reached what he does now, which is, it's cool. I think the in-between phase was my favorite. I liked that old stuff too, where he would draw the giant muscle, kind of Simon Bisley looking guys. Now his stuff is very consistent and very cool, though. He's got a great eye for composition and stuff. I mean, everybody knows this. I don't need to say that that Jay Lee is good. I think everybody knows that. Kirby characters. BMC says a lot of the Kirby characters have that sort of technique. Probably goes back even further. You might be right. You know where it probably originates is some of the old robots in movies or even comics way back in the day in fiction. And they would have the robot arms kind of like Bender, you know, where they had the... I don't know what you even call it. It's not riveted. What would you call it? Segmented? The kind of segmented metal parts. I might just make that black. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it kind of works. It kind of works. We'll go with it. We'll lean into it. Okay, more neck stuff here. Gotta have a crazy neck in the 90s. I'm serious though, man. Put me on a Wildcats comic. I guarantee you people will like it. Guarantee you. There's not much I think I'm really great at, but I think drawing image characters is something I'm pretty great at. And I think people like that. You know, I think people want to see that same energy, like I was saying before. They want to see the energy of what those books had. It doesn't have to look exactly like them. It just has to have that bigness, you know? It's like everybody was going for it, like 100% at all times. There's no chill in those image comics. You know, there's no chill. They're so, at least in the art side, they're so intense and so crazy. and they weren't worried about like, oh, I'm gonna make this whole arc that connects everything like right away. It was just like, here's the bad guy, let's go. So I think that there's a mania to some of those early books, but and I don't think you want to make a bad comic, obviously, because some of those are bad comics. I will not lie, but you want to just capture that mania, you know. That kind of works. That kind of works. He's got this sort of, it's like a red dot, but maybe I'll color it in. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Firm up these guys. Kind of feeling, I'm feeling these kind of solid lines. I'm going to do some more of those. I'm feeling like he needs some hard edges. And some like geographic kind of shapes. So let's make these even more kind of straight. Like that. Still have some some heron hatches here. Because, you know, people like that. I like that. All right, chat, what's going on? Buck Rogers, Eli, you might have nailed it, man. You might have nailed it, pal. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's just keep going. There's a lot of great kind of things to play with here, though, you know, like when you're working on a character like this that has the sort of repeated motifs, it gives you a lot of freedom in the way you decide to show them in action and stuff, because you have so many different elements that can help you kind of identify the character, even if they're a little abstracted or obscured in some way. So I love it when a character has those kind of motifs, you know, the little repeating things that if you see their foot or their hand in a panel, you can kind of start to put together who they are. So you can do a lot crazier things when you're drawing a character like this, because you know, the shapes and the colors are all very very Warblade, you know. This cheek is just getting lost over here for some reason. I also think a lot about this. There was a Warblade miniseries by it was Warblade and Ripclaw, I think. Well, they definitely crossed over, but there was a series by Scott Clark that had some super rad drawings in it, and I think of it his representation of Warblade quite a bit. And then of course Travis Charest did a neat take. Jim had a really great take on him. It was almost like a sleeker Wolverine, and Jim draws a great Wolverine, but he's never quite as stout and savage, I think, as he could be. But that works to his advantage when doing a character like Warblade that's a little more, you know, like I said, like sleek and handsome and all these things. See, we're going to pop some white back in here. And so that should cut across these shapes and hopefully bring a little more clarity to these arms. Hopefully. Because right now they're, you know, they're not super popping. You never know till you try, right? And we're going to do some bottom Portacio style lines here. All right. Oh, hey, there's Ictus. What's up, man? Not quite Ripclaw, buddy. Not quite Ripclaw. You might want to scroll up a little bit, but I guess I mentioned Ripclaw. Yeah. Ripclaw was awesome too, but like the competitive kind of part of me when I was a kid was like, well, Ripclaw just has like some metal fingers. Warblade is like the T1000, so I always thought he was better. But when they fought each other, I think it was Wildcats number 6. Man, that was cool. But that was there's this one shot of him where he's all ripped up, and if you guys have seen, again, if you've seen my art and you've seen that page of Warblade all tore up in Wildcats number 6, I think it is, you can see where I get a lot of my influence. I'm in debt to Jim Lee for forever. If he could just give me a job on a DC book, then I'd really be in debt to him. I'm trying to think what DC characters. I'd love to do a Lobo. I'd love to do Swamp Thing. That'd be fun. I do not like what I'm doing with this hair right now, but I'm going to find a way to make myself happier about it. Yeah, I do not like that, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there. We'll get there. Ooh, yeah, there we go. I do like that, though. That's good. Sometimes I don't know if that's making any sense to anyone else, what I'm excited about when I make these lines, but sometimes you just feel something feels right. All right. Okay, this is getting close to as tight as I want it to be. I mean, we got to fix these hands a little bit, but we want to take a risk tonight and leave it, you know, not overworked, all right? So oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, see, you don't need much. You don't need much. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's pop that. All right. All right. All right. All right. Oh yeah. Can you imagine, Eli? Can you imagine if I was drawing a Lobo book? You know? Guys, come on. Tell DC. Who do you want on Lobo? Want me on Lobo, man? Oh man, the gore I could do, all the ripped up stuff, the chains, the muscles, the violence, the action, the attitude. Lobo is like thrash metal, you know? Like he just rips. Main man. Now, I never actually read a Lobo comic as a kid, but I always see the ads in like Wizard or wherever in the back of other books. And man, I was obsessed with that guy. I would draw him even though I didn't know anything about him because I didn't read his comics. I don't think I was even allowed to, you know? I was like, this looks like an adult comic. I don't know. I shouldn't be reading this. But Lobo, man, he's tough. He's tough. I would love to do a Lobo book. And of course, I think of the Simon Bisley stuff right away when I think of Lobo. I mean, who doesn't? He's kind of like Lobo is his Conan if he was Frazetta, you know? All right. Lobo Christmas Special. There you go. Okay, guys, I think something is not right here with this head. Well, no, it's fine. Okay, what can we do with these claws here? I think one thing we can do is give them a dark side, like so. Okay. Okay. Brave moment here. Gotta just fill them in and see if it works. Oh, stay. Bobby. All right. BTG, Superman of Tomorrow movie. You know, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. Is it good? I was never a DC guy. Lately, I'm finally sort of dipping my toes in some stuff. You know, I've seen some of the movies and I've read some more of the comics. But when I watch a Marvel movie with my wife, she can always like ask me questions and be like, "Who's that guy?" Or "What's this dude about?" And I'll kind of know a little bit. But when it's a DC movie, like we were watching The Flash the other night, and she's like, "Well, what's the Speed Force?" I was like, I don't really know. I was like, I don't really know. I was like, I need to ask Kenny. Kenny would know, because Kenny's written The Flash, and he's a big Flash guy, and I am not as well versed. But there's some cool DC characters that I would absolutely love to work on. Lobo is one of them. And Eli, I'm taking your suggestion. I'm adding some glints here. Okay? So we'll see how those play out once we get this all inked up. All right, let's get some brush. Because we got nice shapes here, but the hands don't have anything to pop them up here with the rest of everything. So we're going to take a try at this, see if this works. It's fun to use these brushes. They're really nice. It's kind of working. I need to, there we go. Kind of underlight it a little bit so that we get a good break from what's behind them. Yeah. All right, guys, we're making some okay choices. I'm sure somebody I know is watching this and they're like, "No, you're not, man. That was a bad choice." Honestly though, like the hard thing when you're making art by yourself all day is sometimes just making decisions. So I try to be a little freer on here, but man, I would obsess over these kind of things if it was a page. You know, I get too in the weeds sometimes. So I'm trying to be a little more aware so that I don't suck all the energy out of everything. It's hard though. All right. Solomon Grundy, that would be cool. Absolutely, man. Big gruesome dudes. Give it to me. Veins and water and dripping and all that stuff. Heck yes, man. Sign me up. Sign me up. All right. You know what? Before I put that away, where did I put that? There we go. Those didn't play out very well, so refill in. And then fix that. Fix that. Oh wait, down here too. Sorry, I got a friend of mine off. Alright. Solomon Grundy. Yeah, I think Batman's got some cool villains. It'd be fun to do just a villain book. Batman's cool. I mean, I guess he's fun to draw, even though I never draw him. I don't think I have much to say with the character necessarily. I don't know what I would do with a Batman story, like as a creative writer type person. There's a lot of great Batman, you know. So it's kind of it's also like you're jumping into a pretty deep pool of really great books, you know. So I don't know. It's cooler, I think, to kind of take a character that maybe doesn't have a name and try to figure out, or maybe they don't. It's not they have a name, but maybe they don't have a definitive story about them. So it's like I love Wolverine, and I'd love to draw a Wolverine comic, but as a writer, I don't know that I have a specific Wolverine idea, especially not since you know the way he changed after Origin. Maybe before that I would have. But I don't believe that I could do a Wolverine comic better than Weapon X. So it's like, what's the point, right? But I would still love to do a Wolverine book. We're going to make another cheat here in a minute to fix these hands up a little bit. They're okay, but I want them to pop a little better. So we're going to cheat in a minute. something that's nice too is, you know, on the Tuesdays I try to not worry as much about specific rendering techniques. I mean, I use things that I know, but sometimes you got to just kind of feel your way through it, you know, like you're in the dark a little bit, and sometimes you'll find some new things that way. You got to play a little bit, I think. I try to play so that I can still discover things, and hopefully it improves me. I hope. It's sort of, I remember, I'm definitely not I wouldn't say I'm a musician or that I'm a songwriter or anything like that, but you know, I've played around. I used to play instruments, and you know, I sing and stuff, and one thing that I always enjoyed was just sort of playing, you know, with no sheet music or anything. So it's kind of like that, like just playing and seeing what's coming out, as opposed to working from a script or something or having a specific agenda. Like my agenda tonight was to try to finish this drawing, and it would be Warblade, you know, like, and if it's no good, it's no good, right? See, but I don't, this is the thing I'm not liking, is this. That kind of helps a little bit. Okay, now we're going to take a second and just look at this. This is what we're going to do for his the logo here. Eli says Martian Manhunter. Yeah, I'm liking it. I would do a Martian Manhunter. That would be fun for sure. I would love to do that. Honestly, if any of the characters, the key is for me as an artist is just to find something that I want to, that they can allow me to do, right? So if I was going to do, say, Superman, I think scale would be a big thing for me. I would want to show the breadth of destruction that happens when superpowered people fight, and to do something that you know, is very zoomed out from the character, and so you're seeing the effects of what he does more than you're seeing sort of right into his face all the time. And I think that would be very cool, very fun. All right, so we want it to say Warblade down here. Of course, I'm hiding half of the words here. Is that going to be a problem, do you think? Who cares? Who cares, man? Yeah, who cares? All right, Warblade. We're going to do it down there. So what I want to do, I think, is I might do some speed lines, even though I really don't want to do speed lines right now. We're going to do some rough speed lines. But I don't want to... Guys, should I try my first skit right now? It's so late already. How do I want to do it? Let's just do it. Let's do it the easy way. All right. I'm not going to cut Frisky right now, guys. Sorry. I really don't want to. So what I want to do here is find a spot. It's going to be right there. All right. Let me get my... Check this out, guys. I've done this trick a few times. Get a cutting board. Pin. Stick that bad boy in there. It's gonna pop out, you watch. But now we're gonna get some speed lines in here. want here is to make these edges pop a little bit more and hopefully cut across the figure a little bit so that it pokes him out a little bit. It's like another value. Speed lines are great for showing speed, but the other thing they do is they create sort of a value. And so if you can have a value shift, you know, from foreground, middle ground, background, or whatever, that's always a positive in a piece usually. So they're not just for fast. And I think if you look at people like Otomo, as opposed to, say, I don't know, every modern manga artist, he really does think about that. So when he's constructing the action scene, where the speed lines go, whether it's in front or behind of the characters, I think he makes some really smart choices in regards to that. Shocking, I know, that Otomo makes smart choices, but you heard it here first, folks. But I try to get through them as quick as I can in some cases. Other times you really want them to be perfect. These ones are going to be somewhere between those two things. Tape here. All right. Manhunter. Okay. Nobody's talking now. All right. All right. Okay, guys, here's something for you, completely unrelated to comics. I was discussing this with a friend. They're getting married soon. And their fiance suggested that they play the national... No, not the national anthem. Yeah, the national... Not the national anthem. Like the... Oh, beautiful for spacious skies. Is that the national anthem? Anyway, they suggested that they play that at the wedding. Now, hey, I'm as patriotic as anybody, I guess, but am I crazy to think that that's crazy to want the national anthem or whatever at your, like, as part of your wedding's? I don't know, man. That was really weird to me. But maybe I'm weird. So validate me here, folks. That's a weird thing, right? That's not normal. I mean, he's not in the military or anything. It's not like he's not a politician. Just a normal person. These are going to need some love here. Okay. I'm not batting 1,000 on these. Now, a cool thing could have been some splatters back here if I was feeling frisky, but I'm not. So we're gonna go sans frisket tonight. And of course I put the tape right where I have to draw. So this trick is my fast speed line trick, is to just stick the pin down and go for it. I'm using a dying, like a dying pen here, so I'm getting sort of a drier line that fades out. That doesn't translate great when you're doing something for print, but on a little just a drawing for somebody or just a drawing for fun like this, it's a really neat look. And honestly, I should probably start just changing my method a little bit on my pages so that I can, at least how I digitize them, so I can actually use some of these drier brush effects, because they can look really cool. We need some energy around them here. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to knock in his name real easy and quick and chill. Okay, Eli, you're with me, right? Yeah, the Star Spangled Banner. There you go. Or no, America the Beautiful. That's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, what a weird thing to do. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm weird. I mean, I know I'm weird. But oh yeah, I was gonna do his name. Okay, so it's gonna be hidden in here, man. No one's even gonna see it. Let's see what happens here. All right, now pull that guy out. We're gonna do some erasing and then add some white to this boy. All right. Oh, and we're just letting this be loose, man. You don't realize how hard this is for you guys to be so sloppy. It's a challenge. Tape down my drawings, but sometimes on here I realize it's really hard for people to see it if I move it around a lot. So all right, let's give this a stir. It's kind of dry. We'll see if we can make it work. I want to get up. Yeah. Good enough, good enough. All right. And welcome to my neighborhood again. Got some dudes on some little bikes out there. glints are kind of working. Stick with them. Let's do it. We'll save the cheat for later. Hang on a minute. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes you just need something on the edge to break it a little bit. See? And that'll help it pop. I hope. Okay. I'm gonna add some white here. You know, I've been trying out the Posca pens lately, and they're pretty nice. And this is really nice, but I don't feel like I've found a perfect white solution, right? I mean, I love Pro White. It's 100% my favorite, but you know, the way I have the Pentel brush pen, I haven't found the equivalent with white. And I've tried like everything, and they're all have their advantages, but we might, well, I was going to pull out the Posca pen, but maybe I'll just do it with this. So that's, I think, helping a little bit. It's like all these micro decisions you got to make while you're working. Because there's not necessarily a a right way. Sometimes it's just the way you decide to do it. And right now I'm using the old white outline trick. Of course, I'm putting my hand in the white that I just did. Well, it is what it is. All right, we're going to just pray for the best. Here we go. Let's give this glint here. Bless me. All right, white brush pen would be great for sure. Just finished the SCHLUB 2 Stinker Buns. I love the switching to binocular. Stinker Buns. I love the old switching to binocular vision as well. And we actually had a lot of discussion about that because well, I'm not going to ruin it for everybody, but that particular character, we had described the way he was going to change his powers, or his abilities, and it was very cool and very involved. And then I was like, I can't really draw that. It's like it's not possible. So, but I'm glad you dug that, and I'm excited for other folks to know what you're talking about with that character. I won't even tell you his name, because he is a cool one. We have a lot of cool villains and characters that show up in the SCHLUB. So I think y'all will dig issue 2. Kenny and Ryan really have a great sense of humor, but also a sense of just, like what's a fun idea for a hero and a villain to have, like what's fun things they can do, or how would they manage a fun power. So they gave me a lot to work with on that stuff, and then gave me a lot of freedom in the actual designs to kind of do whatever I thought was best. I don't think they really gave me any notes on the designs, honestly. I mean, maybe the main characters, but not the other ones. It's been really great to have some freedom there and trust. And I trust them. I mean, the script has been so much fun. All right. Okay. What do you think, y'all? What do we think? I want to, again, I'm challenging myself to leave it somewhat loose. I think I might just do something else with these letters here. And then we might call it. I just feel like that. I need one more thing up here on the arms though. Also, this brush is going to dry out. Alright, let's see. I'm also very tired. Getting in a car accident and watching your daughter all day and cooking dinner and all that, it takes a lot out of you. Okay. That's not helping. Okay. Really quick, we're going to do something with these letters. Not anything complicated. Oh, and we're going to erase that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Tombow here. Oh, dude, yeah. Luckily, the accident wasn't super bad, so I don't think it hurt my back too much. But it was mostly just like, then you're dealing with it. You got to get out, talk to the person. Still got to go where you're going to go. And, I just should have been resting today. But c'est la vie. C'est la vie. And then, of course, my kid's like, let's play dragons or whatever she wanted to play. And I'm like, of course. We've got to play dragons. Of course we have to play dragons. Yeah, we're going to leave that Warblade nice and loose. The real ones will know. The real ones will know who this is. You know what? I can't. I have to do a couple things on this hair too. Okay. Let's do a little bit more flourish here. And then I'm going to be done. My brain is fried tonight, dudes. What do you think, y'all? You think that's Warblade or what? Imagine if I was like drawing it for real. This is just a fun one for quicks. I like it. So this one, just like all of them, I'll pop it up on my shop soon if anybody's interested in it. If not, that's cool. I'll hang on to it. I like it. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter is free and I don't spam you, and it's the first place you find out about commission lists, which the one I just opened has filled up already. It's the first place you find out about original art drops, which I'll be doing one for issue 2. And it's the first place you find about new products like signed copies of the SCHLUB, which are currently available online. So please check out the SCHLUB number 2 in shops next week, Wednesday, and let me know what you think about it. And I will probably not be on Tuesday next week. If I'm not, I might be on later in the week. I might be showing some art from the SCHLUB. If you sign up for the newsletter, you might know what's going on next week. So head over to tyrellcannon.com and do that. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing to the book and showing up for the streams. It really means a lot to me. This is something I've been wanting to do my whole life, so I appreciate it. Enjoy your evenings, stay out of trouble, and I'll see you all guys hopefully next week or the week after.